One day, a very young Mahler rushed out into the street to escape his arguing parents, only to come face to face with a passing military band. It was an event that perhaps influenced the composer's love of juxtaposing different musical moods in his works, often at the flick of a switch. And so Mahler's symphonies contain, as he put it, the world, crammed with everything from nature to popular German street songs, from beer garden folk tunes to outpourings of love. Mahler's symphonies are not abstract works like Brahms's or Bruckner's. They're commentaries on life, they're philosophies, even prayers. Symphony No. 1, nicknamed the Titan, is an epic journey, starting with childhood, cuckoo cries and folk tunes mixed with bugle calls from distant army barracks, some of Mahler's very early memories. You'll hear birdsong in the second movement scherzo, and a funeral march in the third movement, alongside Jewish klezmer music reflecting Mahler's own Jewishness. And the final movement brings all of this together in one of the most impressive and enthralling movements Mahler ever wrote. If ever there was a bridge between the luscious romantic sounds of the 19th century and the inventiveness and modernity of the 20th, it was Austrian composer Gustav Mahler. Here's Jonathan James at the piano to show just how Mahler reflects nature, folk dance, irony and his Jewishness, all in this wonderful symphony.
If you were a composer, how would you create that moment of stillness just before dawn in the Austrian Alps? Perhaps you would write something shimmering. Mahler did something very daring for the beginning of his first symphony. He was describing the same eerie stillness. And what he does, he takes the lowest and the highest notes of the orchestra and just creates acres of space and really gets that sense of pre-dawn. And over that you have falling instruments and a distant fanfare in the clarinets, hunting horns perhaps. It's a wonderful way to open your first symphony. As I say, very bold. And if we go to the third movement, we have material like this. My left hand is a timp, a drum. And over this march comes a double bass solo, which in itself is unusual. And this is even more unusual because the double bass is playing Frere Jacques. It's a marvellous example of Mahlerian irony. We often use that word in connection with Mahler. He's taking a banal nursery rhyme and using it to speak of a far deeper human condition. And later on, in the same movement, you get this. Jewish celebration music, and it's pulled around as a band of Jewish musicians would have played it at a wedding celebration or something like that. So you've just heard three main elements, not just for this symphony, but elements that will stay with Mahler throughout his symphonic career. Nature music, irony, and a sense of Jewish identity.
Composed just 9 years before, Brahms's highly romantic violin concerto seems from another era. Its beautiful, gypsy-inspired melodies and virtuosic violin writing, however, make it almost the perfect concerto. The second movement contains one of Brahms's most personal and touching melodies, and the final movement is a riot of a Hungarian dance and colour.